Victoria Winters. I am a stranger in the great house of Collinwood, but there are other strangers here, too. A man with riveting eyes, new to the land, but not to its past. But fate has also sent a third uninvited guest, one who swept through the once quiet village and come to Widow's Hill, where they say cries of sorrow have been heard for centuries. Tonight they will be heard again, for the third visitor is death.
Come in.
Professor?
Daphne, how are we feeling this evening?
Fine, thank you.
Excellent. What's this I hear about you almost having an accident?
She was walking in her sleep, and she almost took her header down the front staircase.
That's why I had to move to the first floor.
Don't look at me. I don't remember a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with all these needles.
Perhaps. Daphne, I have a little favor to ask of you. I would like you to wear this tonight.
Michael.
Please, Julia, indulge the whim of an aging eccentric. I want Daphne to wear this.
Of course I'll wear it, Professor.
Good. Will you be staying with her again tonight?
You bet. Me and the deputy.
Michael, do you have time for a few words?
Certainly. And there's something I'd like to discuss with you.
I'll check back on you later.
Me too.
That was a little strange.
Will you promise me something, Joan?
Anything you want.
As soon as all this is over, promise me that we'll always be together. You and me.
It's a promise.
All right, Michael. What was that all about?
Maybe nothing. I just felt it was something I had to do. But now, would you like to explain this sleepwalking escapade?
Well, there's nothing I can say, really. She collapsed at the top of the stairs.
Is that all?
Anything more would be speculation. I do think, however, that there was something that frightened her terribly.
But you don't know what that was.
You still think that whoever did this might come back, don't you?
I don't believe he has a choice. Sooner or later, she's going to remember. All right, Julia. I'm going to go to my cottage now. Let's hope tonight goes well.
Joe, it's 4 o'clock. She's sleeping like a rock.
Thanks.
Parker! She's gone. Come on.
Giving, kind, and loving soul. Her greatest pleasure was sharing that gentleness of life with all who knew her. All others called, she willingly answered, and has been called now to another world. The world I trust far better than the one she leaves behind. Daphne's favorite image of the Almighty was of God the shepherd, a shepherd to her friends. She is now one of his flock. Please join me in reciting her favorite passage from the good book, Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Thy rod and thy staff shall comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Come in. Oh, I'll be with you in a minute, Michael. This is, Daphne's last blood sample.
Has it revealed anything to you?
Perhaps. I didn't tell you before, Michael, but for some time now I've been testing a new vaccine on her.
What kind of a vaccine?
Well, something I was able to develop from the aberrant cells discovered in the victims.
And?
Well, it was working, the cell definitely being eliminated from her bloodstream.
Julia, do you believe in the existence of vampires?
Tell me you're not serious.
Bodies drained of blood, human saliva in the wounds, his eyes red and his teeth.
Have you mentioned this to the police?
If I told George Patterson the creature he's looking for lives by night and sleeps in a coffin by day, he might seriously question my sanity.
Suppose you're right.
Yes?
Well, then the success I was having with Daphne might indicate that this creature, if there is such a thing, could possibly be curable.
Vampirism isn't a disease, Julia. Vampires are the living dead.
That's a theory that's going to be very difficult to prove, Michael.
I expect that proof will be forthcoming very soon.
If I catch this one, Daphne isn't dead. If I catch this one, Daphne isn't dead. If I catch this one, Daphne isn't dead. Uh-oh. Getting late, better be getting back. What? I know you weren't dead.
Don't be afraid, David. I'm not going to hurt you. You know I would never do anything to hurt you.
David, you were supposed to be upstairs napping.
But I saw her, Dad. She's out there.
Who? What are you talking about?
Daphne.
David, this is no time for one of your crazy pranks.
David.
I'm not lying. You saw her. I'm not lying.
My sweetie.
David, where did you see her?
What are you trying to do? The kid is scared enough.
David, come here. Now, David, where did you see her?
By the old pool.
Isn't anybody going to stop this? David, you know you didn't see Daphne.
Yes, I did. I saw her, Joe. She was there.
I know. I know. I think I see her too. Everywhere. But it's just our imagination, David. It's only our imagination. Okay, little guy? Huh? Excuse me. No, I just need to get some air, okay?
Joe, don't go out there. I mean, be careful.
Of what? Ghosts?
I'm not lying. I saw her.
Just a minute, Joe. Roger, I think it would be a good idea if Miss Winters took David to his room.
The best idea I've heard all evening. Come on, Sid. You're upstairs with Miss Winters.
There is one way of telling whether or not the boy is telling the truth.
Afraid to ask. How?
By opening Daphne's grave.
Michael, I'll not listen to any more of this.
Elizabeth, I think you should hear what the professor has to say.
All right, Michael, what is it?
I believe Daphne was destroyed by a vampire, and that tonight she walks as one of the living dead.
Well, that's it for me. Good night, everyone.
I'm sorry, Elizabeth, but that is what I believe. Joe, please don't take my warning lightly. Because of your particular relationship to Daphne, you're the one she's most likely to seek out.
We're gonna be together in a world without end.
He was found wandering near the cemetery early this morning, barely conscious.
We opened the coffin, Michael.
Yes, I know. Sheriff Patterson has put a curfew on the entire town. From now on, no one will be allowed out after dark.
Pop.
What?
Maggie, I know you put a lot of stock in these things, but...
Pop. Somebody else is gonna die.
Morning, Sam.
Roger, what are you doing in town?
I had to pick up a few things.
How's Joe?
Pretty bad shape.
Does anybody have an idea what's going on? Well, somebody better think of something pretty damn quick.
We know that, Sam. Maggie, the reason I stopped by is that Carolyn would appreciate it if you could come out to Collinwood. If you'd like, you could ride out with me.
Call me when you want to come back to town.
Don't worry, Sam. I'll bring her back. It's always a pleasure to run into your father first thing in the morning.
Well, what is it that Carolyn wants anyway?
It's not what Carolyn wants, it's what I want.
Oh, what a surprise.
I don't know what I'd do without you. You're the only thing that keeps me sane. And one of these days, I'm going to buy you some comfortable furniture for this place.
Don't want it. If it got too comfortable in here, I might not be able to work. I don't think I'd like that.
I wish I had your attitude about my own work.
No artist ever loses the need to create. Not completely. You'll get it back.
Says you.
How about some coffee?
In all my years of roaming around the world, I have seen strange things. But what's happening here, I'm lost. You know about these kinds of things. What do you think?
I think it's a vampire. And I'll tell you something else. This is only the beginning.
Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Collins. Please come in. Terrible things are going on.
Yes.
Is Willie all right over there?
Yes, Mrs. Johnson, he's fine. Is Mrs. Stoddard in?
Oh, yes, she's in the drawing room with the others.
Good evening.
Barnabas, thank you for coming.
Roger. Dr. Hoffman.
Cousin Barnabas, I'm so glad you're here.
My dear cousin. I'm so terribly sorry. As you know, I've been in Boston on business.
Yes, Barnabas, we know that.
Upon my return, when Willie told me of the terrible things which have occurred, I, of course, immediately rushed over here.
Thank you. Your presence is always a comfort.
On the way, I encountered half a dozen of the sheriff's deputies. What are they doing on the estate?
Nobody knows where Daphne is right now. The theory is wherever Joe is, there's a good chance she'll come for him.
Ah, then the young man is here.
Yes.
I find all this quite extraordinary, Doctor. Do you or Professor Woodard have an explanation?
Things of legend, I'm afraid, Mr. Collins. Nothing that I'd submit to the medical journals for publication.
And where is Miss Winters?
With David.
The boy is very frightened. She'll be staying in his room tonight.
Yes. That's very sensible.
Matter of fact, Barnabas, wouldn't it be safer if you stayed here?
Oh, thank you, Roger. I don't think that'll be necessary. Certainly the next question must be, if everything is as you feared, what course of action does the sheriff intend to take? Assuming, of course, your young niece does indeed return here.
She'll have to be stopped.
But that still leaves one very important question unanswered. Who is the one that did this to her?
Yes. That is the question. Needless to say, if there's anything I can do.
Of course.
Dearest Elizabeth, my thoughts will be with you tonight. Doctor?
Mr. Collins. He hasn't moved. He'll probably sleep until morning. Get some rest. I'll check back on him later. Come on.
Thank goodness he's asleep. What does he think is happening?
He doesn't know. He's still very frightened that Daphne will try to hurt him.
Well, I think that she's somewhere out there right now.
I know. I'd better get back inside.
Yes, Jonathan, make one more loop and then change directions. I don't want to create a pattern that she might notice.
It's getting late. There's no big show.
Yes, when she does, we'll be ready for her.
I still think we're taking a terrible chance with that boy's life.
George, you know there's nothing else we can do. Well, I'm going to look in on him again.
Daphne.
She's up here!
Leave her alone! Get away from her! Get away from her!
It will be a long time, perhaps never, before those of us who experience the events of the past few days will ever be able to forget them. But as horrible as those events were, they pale under the glare of what could be a new and important discovery. Today, I shall attempt to find the truth of what my intellect refuses to accept. At sunset, I shall confront the monster in his lair. You gotta leave. Why, Willie? Why do I have to leave? Is Barnabas here, Willie?
No, he ain't here. He ain't gonna be here.
But he will be soon, won't he? Because the sun's nearly set, and that's when Barnabas Collins comes to life. Isn't that right, Willie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you do, Willie. Where is he?
Doc, I keep telling you, you gotta go.
Tell me where he is, Willie. Where does that door lead, Willie?
Nowhere. It just
nowhere.
It just goes. It only goes down.
That's where he is, Willie.
It only goes down. No, don't. You can't go down there. Please, Doc. Please, Doc. Please, don't come back upstairs. Doc, I'm telling you, there ain't nothing down here. Doc, it's just a basement. There's nothing down here. Please, Doc. Please, Doc, I'm begging you. Go back upstairs.
Willie, let go of me.
Oh, God. Doc, please. Oh, God, Doc. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm begging you, please, Doc. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Doc. No, God.
Put that away.
No, I can't.
You must, Doctor. I promise I will not hurt you. Put it away.
Your word that you will not harm me. I must talk to you.
I have already given you my word. Put that away.
All right, Willie.
Barnabas, she barged in here, and she's...
I'll see you later. You were very brave to come here, Doctor.
I wouldn't have come if I didn't think that I could trust your word. If I didn't think that I could help you.
How help me?
What would you say if I told you I could give you a normal life?
I'd say you were either very naive or indeed quite mad.
Barnabas, I've analyzed the blood of your victims, and I've discovered that you carry within your bloodstream a very destructive cell. I believe that if this cell could be eliminated or made dormant, you'd be able to live a perfectly normal life.
Doctor, the curse of my existence is beyond the realm of your science.
You would like to lead a normal life, wouldn't you?
Do you really believe that anyone could actually enjoy an existence such as mine? I haven't seen the light of day nor felt the warmth of the sun for 200 years. I've lived, trapped within this dark, monstrous shell, compelled by desires I cannot control to commit acts which sadden and repulse me. Oh, what I would give, Doctor. What I would give.
Then give me the chance, Barnabas. Let me help you.
All right, Doctor. When shall we begin?